Thank you, Penny and Dude. Let's have a hand for Penny and Dude and their wonderful music of protest. And next up is Averil Kemble, and she's going to do some introductions herself.
Thanks. Woo. Okay, I know a lot of you here, which is absolutely wonderful. I came here in 1980 and made Quincy my home. I joined QAI, Quincy Area Indivisible, in January of last year. Thank you, Karen Clevin. And I did that because I was scared, I was horrified, and I was depressed by Trump being elected. Being a part of QAI and this whole political coalition that we have, it's the fight against cruelty, corruption, bigotry, and racism, which has helped me through so much. We have had horrors from the Republican Trump regime since day one. I've learned, though, that finding out about local people, our neighbors, the people in our community who have been hit hard by his policies tends to bring it more deeper into our hearts. So that's what my message is about today. I am going to be reading you a very brief social media post from someone named Libby Hopkins Coleman. It hits home on 3 levels: locals, healthcare, and immigration. Locals, because this family, the Hopkins family, there are 4 kids in the family. Their dad was a doctor here in Quincy in the 1960s. Deb Hopkins is here today. She has a home here. She's working on our security team. She's a dear friend. Danny Hopkins, many of you know, he's always lived here and he works for the U.S. Forest Service. He has another brother, Chris, who teaches in Rockland. And Libby, the last sister, she is a retired school teacher in Sacramento. And I love Deb's quote that she gave me yesterday, and that was, "Born of hardcore conservatives, we children are all liberals." So I am honored to read this social media post that Libby wrote on March 6th. On March 6th, my daughter had a large, complex, but thankfully benign brain tumor removed. It was scary, but it went well, and she's doing fine. But I have a couple of thoughts. One, the techniques the surgeon used are relatively recently developed to be minimally invasive, greatly reducing the chances of collateral damage. And I'm so grateful that they were available to my loved one. But this regime is drastically cutting funding and otherwise jeopardizing the kinds of medical research that develop these breakthroughs. So care will not continue to evolve for future generations. That breaks my heart. 2, we, of course, searched to find the best surgeon to do this scary procedure, and we found the best one in the world here in the Bay Area, a Spanish-speaking immigrant who at some point came to this country with his young family. How many people with his talents and reputation do you think would choose to bring their families here now into this atmosphere of hatred and discrimination stoked by this regime? That damage that this brain and talent drain will create in our society is incalculable. Thank you, Libby, for allowing me the honor to read your post. I am skipping the next part, was a little bit more on immigration, because I think other speakers have already spoke about that. Hers mostly does deal with healthcare. And here's a couple of other ones, stories, very short ones, about healthcare for locals. You might not, I'm not saying names. These are people we have heard from. I know a retired Plumas County teacher who just had to make an extremely difficult decision: lose her home or cancel her health insurance because it had tripled in cost. We have people like that in our community. She chose her home, by the way. A former business owner in Quincy stated her insurance just went up over $1,100 a month. She pays over $22,000 a year. Another 61-year-old single woman told us she was so grateful that President Obama's Affordable Care Act allowed her to finally receive insurance. But her costs have just risen 18%, almost $21,000 a year. QAI is collecting stories such as this from Plumas County residents. Over at our table over there, pick up information, tell us how you've been affected, whether it's healthcare, immigration issues, loss of income, tariffs, voting rights. No confidential information will be shared without your permission. In closing, wow, that was fast, huh? In closing, some might say these rallies and protests are not effective. Let me differ. Personally, they have saved my sanity. To know and see all of you here lifts me up. We are all in this together, and we continue to protest. We will continue until change comes. I have no family in Plumas County, but my family is here. In my wonderful friends who have helped me. Last year, many of you have known my husband, Bob Kemble. Last year, he died in March. And several months later, I was diagnosed with cancer. Fuck that. I've taken a few months off, but I've got a lot of fight left in me, and I think you all do as well. Lately, mine has been from the couch. But I know we could all do something, and we must. Check out the tables over here, please. Take voter registration information with you. We must get the vote out. We must win the midterms. We must not let a Republican become California's next governor. Historical studies have shown that dictators and wannabe dictators can be overthrown by the people with sustained peaceful protests. It takes commitment. It takes time. Do it to save our country. Take action. Thank you to all my dear friends and family here, family friends, and to the rest of you here today who are friends I just haven't met yet. You are making a difference. Keep it up. Thank you.